My name is Zara. I am 22 years old. I live with my family in a small, simple house. Life has never been easy for me. Every day, I go to a small shop to work. I stand for many hours, helping customers and keeping the shop clean. My family does not have much money, so I have to work to support them. I often feel tired, but I cannot stop. I have responsibilities, and I need to take care of my younger brother and sister as well. One evening, my friend invited me to a party. She said it would be fun and different. I agreed. I wanted to enjoy myself, even if it was just for one night. When we arrived, the room was full of music and bright lights. Many rich people were there. They laughed loudly, held drinks, and danced. The place was exciting and colorful. People seemed carefree, and I felt a little nervous, but also curious. Then I saw him. He was standing alone. His name was Victor. He looked much older than me, perhaps 50 or 60 years old. He wore a dark, expensive suit. Victor did not talk to anyone. He just stood quietly, observing the room. When our eyes met, my heart began to beat fast. I felt a strange connection, even though I barely knew him. Victor walked slowly toward me. He said, "Hello. Your eyes are very beautiful." I felt my cheeks get warm. We started talking. He asked me about my life, and I told him small things. He told me about his supposed life of luxury. I listened carefully. Every word he said made me feel special and noticed. I smiled at him. I used my charm. I wanted this chance to change my life. I did not care that he was older. I only wanted a better life, one without money problems. Victor invited me to a quiet room upstairs to have a drink. I said yes. I followed him nervously but excitedly. The room was warm and dim. He offered me a drink. I took it. Victor sat close to me on the sofa. He touched my hand gently. That night, I chose to stay with him. I spent the night there, believing I had found someone who could give me a better life. The next morning, I woke up. The room looked different. It felt cold and empty. I looked around. The walls were old, and the furniture was cheap. This was not a rich, fancy apartment. I looked at Victor. He sat on the side of the bed, staring at the floor. His face showed worry and fear. He was not rich at all. Everything he had told me was a lie. I felt angry and used. I had believed in a dream he created. I had wanted a better life so badly that I ignored the signs. My heart felt heavy. I needed the truth. I watched as Victor left the small apartment. I followed him quietly. He walked a long way and finally stopped at a large, beautiful house. He went inside. I waited for a few minutes, then walked to the front door. I knocked. A woman opened it. She looked older than me and wore simple clothes. She asked politely, "Can I help you?" I started to ask about Victor and his lies. But before I could speak, Victor appeared behind her. His face was pale and fearful. The woman looked at him and then back at me. I froze. "Who are you looking for?" the woman asked again. I could not answer. Victor stood silent, looking afraid. Then the woman looked into my eyes and said slowly, "I am his wife." My heart stopped. Tears filled my eyes. He was not only lying about being rich, but he was also married. I felt hot shame and deep anger. I looked at Victor and shouted, "You lied to me. You told me you were rich. You took me to that small apartment. You made me feel special. But it was all a lie." His wife did not seem surprised. She looked at Victor, not me. It was clear she already knew his secrets. I looked at her and said, "He made me feel important. He told me he was lonely. He said I was different. But he is a liar. A cheat." Finally, his wife spoke. She said calmly, "Victor has nothing. He has no money. He lost his business years ago. He lives here, in my house. He follows my rules. He tries to find young women to feel alive again, but he is nothing without me." I felt anger at myself. How could I have believed his lies? He wanted to feel young and powerful for one night. I had been used, just like he was using me. I walked out of the big house, leaving Victor and his wife behind. Later that day, Victor found me outside the shop where I worked. He looked older, smaller, and broken. His eyes were full of sadness. He said, "Zara, I am sorry. I am sorry for the lies, for the pain I caused you. I am lonely. My wife controls my life. Everything I had is gone. I have nothing. I am just a shadow. But with you I felt alive. I felt young. I felt important again. I know it was wrong, but I wanted to feel that way." His words touched my heart, but my anger remained. I looked at him. I saw how weak and lost he was. I understood that I could not save him. Victor was a grown man, but he lived under someone else's rules. His choices were not his own. I could not change his life. We were both lost, but in our own ways. There was nothing left to say, nothing left to do. I walked away, leaving Victor alone. That night, I sat on my bed and thought about my life. I wanted a better life, but I realized I could not rely on someone else to give it to me. I had to work for it myself. I had to be strong. I had to take control of my future. I decided to focus on myself. I found a new job that paid well. I saved money. I worked hard. I learned new skills. Slowly, I built a life I could be proud of. I learned from my mistakes and became independent. I grew stronger and more confident every day. Victor was gone from my life, and I did not try to find him again. I understood that relying on lies would only bring pain. I learned that a better life comes from hard work, honesty, and self-respect. I also learned that sometimes people use others to feel alive, to escape their reality. But a strong person can never be broken by lies. I felt stronger than ever. My future was in my own hands, and I knew I would make it good. I had learned a very important lesson. Your life is your own, and only you can make it better. If you were in my place, would you forgive Victor and accept him, or leave him like I did? Life teaches lessons, and sometimes the hardest ones make us stronger.